Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon, and me, Banshee. And it's me, Banshee, with my Material Matters segment, your weekly tarot keys to success in business, education, and finance. Welcome to the show, everybody. All right, I'm doing this a little bit earlier than I normally do the filming because I have an engagement this weekend, so I going to give you an update on things after I do the card for the collective, which will be this week from Luminology Manifestation Oracle. There is some news of note, so I won't leave you hanging. But anyway, the Luminology Manifestation Oracle by Yasmin Boland. Okay, do have some moon activity this week. All right. So let's see what these cards have for us this week. All right. Ooh, it's a new moon in Scorpio. New moon in Scorpio, and it basically says, go deeper. All right. Let me grab my book here. New moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. You're regaining control of a situation that cut deep. You've moved through your fears and can now see where this issue has come from. Now isn't the time to gloss over the facts. Rather, it's time for you to face your darkest concerns and go deeper. Your situation may need to crumble before it can be renewed. Magic is called for. It's crucial to stay strong now. Sexually, it's time to reach for true communion with your partner. Financially, this is a blessed time to work with someone on a joint venture. It's time to release a grudge. The manifesting focus. This card is an especially good sign for matters relating to sex, money, or an obsession you've been grappling with. Manifestation mindset. Know that you're magic. Clear out negativity to supercharge your manifesting powers. And your manifestation affirmation should be, life goes in cycles, and my life is now regenerating. You know, it's really interesting here seeing this because that's very Scorpionic, this reading, being about sex, money, and obsession, letting an old grudge go. You know, Scorpios, come on now. Yeah, I know you like to carry grudges. So this is calling for a lot of different things, and there's an interesting tower connection here in the tarot too, I see, with this idea of something having to crumble before it's being renewed. So you may have to, you know, maybe something that's not working right for you, you have to take it down and rebuild it. You have to start again, because if you keep going on the path you are, it will be on shaky ground, and, you know, it won't do you any good. So there's lots of interesting pointers here. I think, too, this idea of grudges. You know, office politics is a really horrible thing. And also with what's going on in our country right now with people spying on each other and ratting each other out, you know, for saying the wrong things. I'm only going to say that much of it. You know, let's stop this. Let's stop this. Let's stop carrying grudges, live and let live, and move forward. So in the workplace, try to find peace over war and conflict. All right, good luck with that. Well, and speaking of which, first thing on my agenda, because it just happened the night before, is that Jimmy Kimmel's show has been canceled because of things that he had said that people disapproved of, and the networks capitulated. But as usual, there's more behind this than that. The chair of the FCC threatened the parent companies, that run, that are responsible for airing Jimmy Kimmel's show, and threatened if they didn't do anything that they could be, lose their licenses or whatever. Threats from the FCC on First Amendment rights. This is really a scary, slippery slope we're on here, and I think even people on the right side of the political spectrum realize that to a certain extent. And I mean, just because you're in power now doesn't mean that people will forget it when you're not. And so I think here, and also boycotts. I've been on social media, so many people are talking boycotts here. We'll have to see how that plays out and how serious people are. But I mean, there's a lot of people who are thinking of chucking different elements of, pay-per-view now, social media, paying for all these streaming services, etc. So beware, of what you're doing here and the anger that it can cause. And then secondly, the Feds just lowered interest rates and a 0.25 percentage point, which will make some difference, and it's debatable whether in the long term this is going to help or hurt the economy. And the Fed is very aware of that. But again, they're supposed to be an independent body, but they are being heavily pressured like no time in the past, by the present administration to lower those rates. So I feel there's a capitulation being done here, but, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out this week, this one will be owned by the president, who's been putting so much pressure on the Feds to lower it. So if the economy goes south, the blame should be put squarely where it belongs. And hopefully we won't suffer much fallout from all of this craziness that's going on. All right. So before we get into the readings, let's talk some astrology for the week ahead. These readings that I'm about to do for the astrological signs of the zodiac are good from Sunday, September 21st through Saturday, September 27th. And during this time, the moon will be transiting on Sunday from Virgo into Libra, and will be moving all the way into Sagittarius by the end, of the week on the 27th. We have a new moon solar eclipse coming, and that's on September 21st in the sign of Virgo. So be aware that's coming. And also, Mars is entering Scorpio on September 22nd. On that very same day, the Sun enters Libra on September 22nd. Happy birthday to all our Libra friends out there. May you have a great solar year ahead. And also, on September 21st, it's worth mentioning, even though peace is hard to come by all the way around in the world today, it's the UN's International Day of Peace on September 21st. Okay, that's what I have for everybody. Let's move on to Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. All right. You start with the Nine of Pentacles upright, followed by Judgment reversed, and ending with the Five of Wands upright. Ooh, it's a very interesting combination here. I feel here, you feel, at any rate, that you're in a very good place right now, financially, business-wise, maybe even leadership-wise. However, haters gonna hate. You know, there's always going to be people that's trying to bring you down. You know, it looks like you're facing some criticism this week. Maybe you're being a little bit hard on yourself, but I feel this is coming from outside sources because of the Five of Wands here. It seems as though people are, wanting to fight with you, giving you some struggles at work, going against what you want to accomplish or do. Maybe if you're a boss or a leader, they're rebelling against the policies you're put into place. There's arguments, there's bitterness. It's really important for you, Aries, this week to try to show the benefits that could come from what you're trying to do. Make sure everybody understands it, but also it behooves you to please listen to other people. Accept constructive criticism, not destructive criticism, constructive criticism from others, and also try to meet them halfway wherever possible. Understand what their concerns are and, see if you can work with that. Good luck with that, Aries. All right, Tauruses, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. Let's see. You have the Ten of Cups upright. Nice card. You have Temperance reversed, though. It's going to be one of those weeks, I guess. And it's a Four of Pentacles upright. Well, I think there's some imbalances you have to take a look at here, Taurus. Maybe some of the things that you value, you're holding on to too tightly, your resources, etc. Maybe you got to loosen things up a little bit to make everybody happy. Perhaps your coworkers and that need, raises, for example. And maybe you've been holding on and it's been causing some difficulties and some anger or some non-motivation in the workplace, people not performing up to par. Why not boost, why not give people who are doing a good job, some rewards for it, some bonuses for it? Why not also throw out some incentives to get people happy again? I think that people are struggling here with something that's going on, whether it's some policies and procedures that you value that people think need to be changed, or whether it's about, like I said, compensation or benefits, or maybe some extra perks for the work that they are doing. That would be important. And as far as money goes, finances, I'd say here, this might be a sign that, maybe you're in a pretty good place right now stock-wise, and maybe hold off with not making changes. Hold tight right now to where you are. Okay, that's what I have for Tauruses. Let's move on to Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. Well, you got the Four of Swords here upright. You have the King of Wands here upright. The Moon is here upright. It's very interesting reading. I think here, you leaders out there, this is funny because another time I'm bringing up leadership, you leaders out there maybe ought to consider people's workloads right now. Maybe some people are really burning out. Maybe cutting some people some slack or giving them some extra help at this time might be important. And this may be something that you're starting to think about or intuit. I think, you know, you have to ferret out what's wrong here and why people are struggling. Maybe some people have been calling in sick because they need a break or they're getting overwhelmed with work. And so you have to get to the bottom of it. There's some information that's lacking here about why everybody is sort of low energy at this time. And so use your gut. Go with your gut here and determine what needs to be done. Maybe, you know, you need to shift somebody over from one job to another to help somebody out for a period of time. Or maybe you need to shift some of their work over to some other work team. Whatever the case may be, you need to find some balance here, I think. So, good luck with that. I don't know. I think that's directed at people who are managing a team or employees right now, for employers. Well, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. Oh dear, Cancers, you have the Five of Swords reversed. You have the Hermit reversed. And the Chariot. The Chariot is reversed. You've got 3 reversals here. And it's not too happy, I have to say. Oh, good grief. There we go. Well, maybe you've realized for some time now, you know, in the workplace that there has just been conflict brewing. There's been dissension. Maybe you realize some people have been treating you very poorly and things are starting to come to a head now. Whether you're a leader, whether you're on a work team, a lot of this stuff seems to be workplace related right now more than anything. But I won't rule it out in regards to partnerships and things of that nature either. But you've been feeling for some time and you've been really avoiding the situation. You know, you're not confronting it. You've been avoiding it. And guess what? It's built up to a bad point now that there's no avoiding it. You have to deal with it one way or another. And in this case, your best bet is to move away from this. You know, I don't know if this means you have to fire some employees if you're a manager. I don't know if this means you have to take something to HR or to some other group to let them handle a situation for you if you're an employee. Or if it's hostile management and stuff, you may have to leave. Because guess what? The situation is not going to change. It's stagnating. It's stuck here in this angry, negative sort of energy here. And unless you take action, either to get somebody else involved or to move away from it one way or another, like I said, if you can remove employees who are causing problems or leave a situation if you're an employee that's getting harassed, you may have to do so. All right, Leos, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. Whoopsie. There we go. Leos, wow, you're hurting. It's the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is upright. Good news is the Ten of Cups is upright also. I feel good about that, following that card. And the, excuse me, the Eight of Swords is reversed. This is a decent combination, but I can't say that something isn't going to hurt you here. Whether you've lost a job, whether you've lost some money, whether you've been demoted or had something happen really negatively, sales are off, maybe you have to close a company, etc. You have support. There are people out there that have your back and are willing to support you, to help you out of this mess in some way or another. If you've lost a job, maybe they're going to help you and help you, maybe give you tips on finding other jobs. Maybe some other employment place is going to welcome you with open arms. So feel confident. Don't blame yourself. Don't let this hurt, mar your self-confidence, make you feel less than who you are. I feel here that whatever's happening with people around you, they're going to make you feel pretty good about yourself and that you are worthy and that you can move on to something better after this heartbreak. So good luck with that. Virgos. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Leos. Sorry. We're doing Virgos now. I'm sorry. Whoopsie. Maybe Mr. O will cut that out for me. Okay, Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. You have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is reversed. You have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is upright. And you have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is upright. Well, a lot of energy this week. A lot of communication going on. You have the the King of Swords here and the Page of Swords. Real high-end communications going on, important communications. Whether you're giving a lecture or a talk or a teaching session, or you're giving a presentation at school or in class, this is a real positive sign of success here and very clear thinking. A lot of energy. Make sure you're focusing it on what you need to here, Virgos, and get the job done. This is really positive. I think that you're going to make if you're a manager, for example, making some very level-headed, high-end decisions here as far as your stocks and bonds and investments go. You're going to make wise choices and decisions and communicate clearly to what you want your brokers to do for you. Good luck with that. Okay, Libras, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. Well, Swordapalooza and Corcardapalooza. You've got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is upright. The Eight of Wands is reversed. And King of Cups is reversed. Well, the Knight of Swords is upright. I think here, though, you have to be careful of the moves you make this week because I'm combining it with that Eight of Wands energy here. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a little bit scattered this week. You're a little bit scattered and a little bit anxious. Maybe things that have been happening, whether it's the interest rate changes or the markets or some bad economic news that might come out this week. It may be making you very anxious and nervous and stressing you out. And I feel here you're scattering your energy and you need to really focus it at this time to make wise moves. So if you don't feel like you're in a good place to make a decision, then don't do it, Libras. Don't do it. Good luck with that. Alrighty, Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising. Readings for you for the week ahead. Oopsie. Get that one right. All right, my Scorpions, let's see what's going on in your world. Not much. You have the Six of Swords reversed. But you have the Sun upright. And you also have the Three of Swords reversed. You know, maybe there's been some disappointments of late for you Scorpions, and you're feeling a lot of sorrow and remorse over some recent losses, whether they're business or financial, career, job-wise, maybe even grade-wise if you're in school, and you feel stuck. You feel like you're really stuck and you don't know any way out of the situation. You know, you have to go through your feelings, process them so that you can move forward, because the Sun is here. The Sun is here is saying you will overcome this. You can overcome this. But right now, this just may not be a time for you to make any moves, like, for example, knee-jerk reaction moves. Don't quit Don't quit your program at school just because your grades aren't up to par. Maybe you need to think about this a little longer. Maybe you need to process your disappointments before you decide to give up on something. That's just an example. So that's for anything. There's stocks that are underperforming, anything. Success is in your future here. But I think you need to let go of the stress and the anxiety and think more clear-headedly before you're going to be able to move forward. Good luck with that. All right, Sagittarians, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. All right. Wow. Like the Aries, you start off with the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is upright. What? But the Five of Swords is here and reversed. Oh my goodness. And the Three of Pentacles is upright. Well, I have a couple thoughts about this. I think that Sagittarians, some of you have decided that to move away from things that just have not been going well. Very destructive, if it's about people you worked with or conditions, competition being too steep, you've moved away from this now and you've found a place where people accept you more. For example, maybe in your business line, there's been such heavy competition, you've been really overwhelmed by the competition. So maybe now you are working with others who are giving you fresh ideas, new product lines to explore. And if you don't have that, maybe that's something to consider here. It's talking to others, getting some fresh ideas, and putting yourself back in a good place once more. I think here too, as a secondary thought, that there may be a lot of jealousy and upset right now with how well you're doing, whether it's from competition, whether it's from other sources, and there are people here that want to bring you down. But fortunately for you, you have a really good team you are working with that is willing, that will help you when, things get real. So also, if this is a workplace issue and somebody is causing you grief in the workplace, go to your HR or go to other people and get them involved in this. I think that they could settle and straighten things out for you. So good luck with that, Sagittarians. Hey, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. One more. All right. One more shuffle for the Capricorns. All right. What's going on? You know, sometimes we haven't gotten the card at all lately, and now it's a three-peat. It's the Five of Swords reversed, coupled with the Five of Wands upright. Oh my goodness, Capricorns. And the Five of Cups upright. Wow, well, this is certainly a story here. And I got to say, it's not a good one. There is infighting, you know, whether you're in a partnership business, whether it's with your financial advisors, there is a fighting that is leading to, I don't want to say a bloodbath, you know, everything is so violent these days, but that, you know, not coming to blows, but I mean, it's coming to a point of people not being able to work together anymore. So either you have to part ways with a company, you have to part ways with a partner, a business partner, you have to part ways with a financial team, you may have to part ways with employees in your company who are just too argumentative and not following orders, you know. And this is very disappointing, I have to say. It's going to be very easy for you to fall into a state of disappointment and disillusionment and wallow there. Do not wallow there. Think about things, you know, for sure, and learn the lessons you need to from this situation and realize that all is not lost, that clearing the air and getting rid of this situation is something that's really going to be beneficial for you in the long run. You'll be able to pick up your pieces from there. So, wow, I wish you luck with that. Okay. Okay, Aquarians, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. You have the Ten of Pentacles upright. You have the Nine of Pentacles upright. And you have the Star reversed. Well, I don't know why you're so doom and gloomy right now. But maybe that's a good thing. You know, maybe that's a good thing. Because it's caused you to think about how good you have it right now, and that you want that to continue long term. So it's time for you to consider working on your long-term financial stability, your long-term work stability, you know, your long-term business stability, coming up with a long-term strategic plan so that things can remain that way for you. Maybe it's because the economy and everything has been so crazy this year that it's really gotten you to think about your long-term financial or business or career stability. And that, my friends, is a good thing. Good luck with that. All right then, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. This reading's for you for the week ahead. let's see what we've got for you. Well, Pisces, you've got the Hermit. The Hermit is reversed. You have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Oh, and the Six of Cups is reversed. Well, I think here, what this is saying, and I'm looking at this in kind of a negative light, I think the Hermit is indicating to me that maybe you've waited too long. You've ruminated too long on something, and now either an opportunity is not going to come to fruition for you, or something that you were hoping, to continue working on is not going to pan out anymore. Time was of the essence here, and it may be because you've been thinking too much. You've been wondering if you should really bring some old policies and procedures back, or maybe that you should be doing something new. Maybe you've been vacillating back and forth between that and ignoring what you're working on right now and what got you to the point you were at. And so I think things are going to fail for you, and you're going to have to move on. I think this isn't a matter of getting back to work. This is a matter of letting something go now and realizing that you squandered your time, maybe, trying to figure out whether you're on the right path or you need to go back to something old, or whether you were working things the right way or you need to do something the way you used to. Didn't work out for you, I'm sorry to say. I may have more to say on this reading in the chat, so if you come, stay tuned to what I'm saying in the chat about these 3 cards, Pisceans, and I wish you luck with that. All right, that's what I have for everybody for this week. I want to remind everybody about our shows up and coming, and we're going to have a live show on Sunday when this is broadcast later in the day. Our live show will be from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join us and ask us a question. Financial, business, whatever, love, romance. We'll be happy to answer it for you, but get there early because we won't be going into a lot of overtime. And on Monday, well, wait a minute now. On Tuesday, the sun is entering the sign of Libra. Happy birthday to the Librans. And that means it's time for another monthly modality message, where we'll be able to give you a reading for the modalities of the Zodiac, and it's good for the entire Libra season. So join us for that video presentation, which will come out sometime on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you know what time it is. It's time for shadow work with Mr. O and his Goth Tarot show. Boy, he got a lot of views on his show this last week. Why don't you come and see what he's up to this week and see what needs to be integrated, to make yourself feel whole. That's Goth Tarot at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have another live show from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can come and ask any question. And again, just get there early, because if we have too many people, we won't be able to fit you in. If we have too little people, we may end the show early. So join us for that show if you want a question answered, 7 to 9 p.m. And on Friday, woohoo, Mr. O's Emotional Exchanges, where you can find out about love, romance, interpersonal relations of all types, and you get to find out, wink, 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 who's going to get lucky in the week ahead. So join him for that video presentation. It comes out every Friday for the week ahead, and that is at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday mornings. If you can't check it out then, check it out at your leisure. All right. Then on Saturday, we've got happy hour. Happy days are here again. It's always, no matter what's going on in the world, it's always happy at our happy hour show. So join us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get a single card positive message for your week ahead. No questions, just positive energy for you. Take care, everybody. Hope to see you in another week, and have a prosperous week ahead. Bye-bye for now.